probably done and stood by Idubbbz and Anissa more.
No, but the problem is that like you just fucking cucked out, dude. Like I'm not gonna lie, like this has nothing to do with. I will say, okay, guys, for people who say it's all Anissa's fault, I don't think that's the case. Okay, all right. You are the kind of person who like you are the type of person who attract the same type of person. Okay, like birds of a feather flock together. All right, like I don't like people who say, "Oh, it's this woman who fucking corrupted Idubbbz," is just a little bit like fucking maybe just a little bit misogynistic. Okay, maybe that's a little bit misogynistic of a claim. All right, but I think that if you are already easily able to be altered or pruned belief wise, then you're also able to be warped easily and then get into a fucking marriage situation with this. Yes, I saw the I saw the fucking description. Yeah. hmm Yeah, basically what the description is that it's just a fucking bunch of links to Hasan's entire fucking orbit.
Than anybody. I've stood by them when all the internet hated them.
I don't like that Ethan brought this up because it makes the relationship feel very transactional. Like, you know, we're just meant to support each other online despite our own personal morals or principles.
But I'll say this, I don't think they're fucking any friends of mine. And certainly I don't think they're any fucking friends of mine based on the text conversation I had with them too before I even talked about it. So I have nothing. Like, I don't need any fucking halfway friends, man.
I thought the text conversation that I had with him was very empathetic. I basically just said, like, I know you and Hila are experiencing a ton of harassment, and I essentially empathize with that, and I think there's something positive to get out of the conversation. But he refused to talk on the phone.
I will say this again. Let me clarify, okay? I think Ethan has been way too fucking crazy, okay? I think this guy is giving his haters way too much attention by addressing the issue every single time. I think it's fine to make a few videos saying, oh, these are what my haters are doing. These are how deranged these people are. But by responding back to them every single time, it only gives the leftist Kiwi Farms people like even more attention because this is what they want, okay? They are too scattered. They're like Hamas, okay? They're like Hamas. These guys are like scattered across different internet nodes, trying to be like sparse and hard to target, and they will be in private Discord servers of like 5 people or private group chats of like 8 people or something and sharing like private information around or something, you know? Like you shouldn't be giving these people attention, right? Like you should be doing enough in your private life to prevent all of these issues, but at the same time you shouldn't be giving a lot of these things, a lot of these people like attention, right? Like you should be trying to ignore them as much as possible. I mean, it's just part of life. That's just part of the you know, of the cycle. But you know, I think Ethan Klein crashing out is like has been detrimental to everything in his life. It's not a benefit. It doesn't stop the harassment. It encourages the harassment. And now Idubbbz is like hopping onto the fucking bandwagon, right? Like it just doesn't stop. Why would Idubbbz attack someone with Tourette's? Is he anti-handicapable? Like, is he making fun of Ethan's Tourette's? Like, I'm not sure if Ethan sneezing is like, is that part of his Tourette's? Because if so, then yeah, that's pretty dickish, I guess. Yeah, but Idubbbz complete lies about how they were cowards during the peak of the CPS shit. What do you mean? I don't know what that means.
Unless I was willing to publicly say something about my former editor and Denims. As much as you don't want halfway friends, I also don't want that kind of halfway friend. I don't want someone who's going to give me like an ultimatum to have a conversation.
Could you not say something?
Yes, his sneezing is part of it and the hand turning. Okay, then yeah, that's not okay because here's the thing, okay? I'm not one to say, oh yeah, you shouldn't be making fun of somebody with Tourette's, but like he seems like the kind of guy who would be like anti-disabilities, right? Anti-ableist. He makes it out like Ethan was demanding them to be on their side. Okay, I'm just gonna evaluate the things in the video because here's the thing, okay? It's good people are bringing me more context, but I'm just gonna evaluate, you know, my point of view from a outsiders, okay? Because Yeah.
thing. When this is like, imagine like one of you guys is like, Hasan actually wants to go to Israel, go to Gaza so he can strangle Israeli babies or some shit like that. I'd be like, you imagine me not saying something.
You're trying to make a one-to-one comparison where there isn't one. This guy that I follow on Twitter is not in the same relationship as you and one of your current employees who is streaming with you 3 days a week, 3 hours a day for the past 10 years. At one point during the stream, Ethan and Hila bring up Adam McIntyre. Now, Adam does basically the same thing as my former editor. He's critical of Ethan and Hila, and he is sometimes uncharitable and nasty towards them.
Adam McIntyre needs to just like disappear. That guy is a piece of shit, like of the lowest order. I never even stood by him when he talked bad about Trisha having a kid and called him like the spawn of Satan. He was supposedly on our side. I would never even co-sign that. I was disgusted by that statement too. I remember when he called her kid the spawn of Satan.
I never said anything
And
like
I was
that.
supposed to be like cheering on, but I wasn't going to cheer that on. That's disgusting.
Why do we forget that he called her children, which is something we would never do, the spawn of Satan?
It's disgusting. He's a piece of shit of a human.
It's just incredible who ends up being the good guys in this story. You know, it's really something.
Unfortunately, they never made a statement. They never said that they disagree with his statements about Trisha's baby until it's useful. Like, what?
I literally cannot care about the whole Trisha stuff, okay? The only thing I'm here for is ways to justify Hasan's terrorist promotions, okay? Because remember, Ethan Klein's video, okay? Ethan Klein's nuke video was fucking revolving around how Hasan keeps on promoting terrorists, right? So I don't get the I don't get this point, okay? I don't get why he's addressing completely non stuff, like stuff that we literally cannot give more of a fuck about.
What is it, 3 years later? Like, I mean, you're talking about it like you were aware of it at the time and that there was some amount of pressure or enthusiasm for you to get down with that. And what it sounds like to me is that you did see it at the time and you were like, ooh, I don't like that. And you didn't endorse it and you didn't fuck with it. Huh. It's almost like that is a fucking identical situation to me.
It's just incredible who ends up being the good guys in this story. You know, it's really something.
So yeah, the reason I'm bringing this up is because they're trying to like paint themselves as the good guys, and they're saying like, yeah, we strongly disavow things that are said, even about our enemies. We are the most immoral people on the internet. Unlike Ian and Anissa, who are fucking keeping to themselves. Also, why the fuck does Olivia get the pass?
What a fucking asshole for putting you in that position, Olivia. You're friends with him. And you don't have to say anything, but like, what a fucking piece of shit. What a bad friend to put you in that position just for some fucking clout. It gets people angry at you, like, oh, how can she be friends with him? Which is total bullshit, okay? Olivia did not do anything. And
I want the pass. Do I have to be an employee to get that treatment? Because then you'll just see me as an ally? Or is it because Ethan is afraid of wrongful termination accusations and lawsuits?
And also, I don't mind putting my friend Olivia, who's apparently my real friend, in a terribly weird, fucking uncomfortable situation where you end up getting hate for no reason.
Also, don't frame it as like other people making it hard on Olivia. You're making it hard on all of these people. Please acknowledge your role in this whole fucking thing. Like, it's crazy how warm Ethan is to Olivia and saying how Olivia is essentially just a victim in this whole thing.
It gets people angry at you, like, oh, how can she be friends with him? Which is total bullshit.
But me and Anissa are spineless. Ethan, your whole system is scrambled. My intention isn't to throw the employees under the bus like you guys, sir.
Spineless? Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I mean, like, didn't like after that whole Froggy Fresh thing, yeah, that's kind of spineless a little bit, right? And ever since then, you know, they haven't really, like, you know, recognized it as something that it's their fault, right? See, that's something I can actually quote because that's something I actually remember myself. Yeah.
Serve as the fucking foundation for calling out Ethan's hypocrisy on the whole subject. And I know that you guys have probably pushed back against Ethan over the years. How often are you supposed to do that? Do you have to do that every fucking week? It kind of seems like it. And that's exhausting. I don't want to confront my boss. It's not my fucking job to confront my boss and say, today's segment on rapists and pedophiles on Twitch was not like my favorite segment to be a part of.
Yeah, friends like these.
Oh yeah, and our other good friends,
Yeah.
Anissa and Ian. Thanks, Anissa, for standing up for your girl. I actually stood up for you so many times, because, like, why would I not? It was crazy.
Yeah, why would you not? I mean, if that's truly what you believed and you weren't just
Why do you think people don't like Ethan? Well, he's Jewish.
going to use it later.
Of course I was going to stand by you.
I'm kidding. No, like, people don't like Ethan just because, well, I mean, like, with every single popular person. Well, dude, he didn't define Palestine enough. Okay, there you go. He didn't defend Gaza enough. Gaza enough.
Dude,
All right,
that's
there you go.
insane. It's absolutely insane and disgusting. But now you choose to hang out with people that would have a problem with you if you defended me.
I'm not going to assume that Hila knows, but I'll say it for
Okay, you know what? I think there's an even better way to put it. Okay, I think that when it comes to the opposite side, you'll take a look at them and you'll go like, you know what? They'll always be bad. But then you take a look at your own allies and you kind of like nitpick. You start nitpicking their flaws, right? Ethan Klein's one such person. Like, these people hate liberals more than Republicans. Okay, these people actually hate liberals a lot more than conservatives. With the Republicans, they always go like, oh, you know what? These Republicans will always be Republicans. Like, they'll always be fascists. But with liberals, they're like, oh, these people are the people in power and they're just Republican light, right? But that's not it whatsoever, right? So instead, they will look at Ethan Klein, who is a hardcore liberal, right? Who is like sympathetic, very sympathetic, I would say, like even overly sympathetic to the pro-Palestinian movement, right? And you know, it's just kind of crazy because because they'll look at something like Ethan Klein, they'll be like, oh, this person is a greater enemy than Republicans because you're more keen to focus on the things that your supposed allies are doing rather than the supposed other side, right? Like, that's just how it works in every conflict, right? Like, don't you guys feel kind of weird when you know, people who are supposed to be on your side has like these minor flaws, but then people on the other side are like calling for genocide? Like, it's just completely it just completely derails your fucking mind, you know, when something like that happens. So I kind of get it, but at the same time, you know, it's just like, it's a flaw. It's not something that you should be encouraging. It's not good.
For anyone who doesn't know, Anissa is
You should be focusing on being pragmatic at all times.
half Lebanese and half Irish. For anyone unfamiliar, the Irish have been on the receiving end of a lot of oppression and genocide. On the part of the Lebanese, they've received a lot of oppression and attacks from the IDF. So Anissa is very well familiar with the propaganda and the shit coming out of Israel. Choosing now, out of all the times, to be like, please defend me. No, we're not gonna fucking defend you.
Rudy was saying that Palestinians are taught at 2 years old to kill Americans.
Do we have that
I
one?
mean,
Like,
just the other day, BB fired a really good guy that a lot of people are pissed about.
he looked mean. I thought he was mean just because he looked mean.
No, it's not.
So yes, you caught us. We're not gonna run to your defense when, I don't know, we follow people. We be following. That's one fucked up thing that you can say about Anissa and I is when we're on Twitter, we do be following.
So,
The problem.
okay, if you want to hang out with those people and have no spine and not stand up for another girl that stood up for you, enjoy your new friends.
She's friends with people like Denims.
I know,
in her chat,
yeah,
which I'll
she's
show.
friends with
Denims is
Denims.
actually participating in this whole child protective service lie.
Yeah,
Which I'll
and if
show you
you're
guys
friends
next
with
day.
them, then you're seeing what they're saying.
You'll notice that Ethan and Hila start talking about this Denims character. Originally,
Please do not defend Denims. Please, please, please. If there's a god out there, please do not defend Denims. Okay, please.
the complaint was about my former editor. He's been chatting shit about Ethan and Hila for the past year at least. They only care about it now because I guess it was spoon-fed to them via their Reddit that's clearly looking out for them. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, we are friends with Denims, but I would say it's the same level of friendship that we had with Ethan and Hila. It's like kind of an internet friendship. We think that she's a good person like we think Ethan and
Okay, stop right there. Okay, she's not a good person. She defends Bad Epinado, who is a doxer. All right, not only is Bad Epinado a doxer, okay, but this person will literally like I'm pretty sure he tried to hire hitmen, right? Like he tried to. I'm not entirely sure, okay? I could be wrong, okay? I could be wrong, okay? Ignore that part, okay? But I have seen him do some unhinged shit on Twitter, okay? This guy is actually insane. This guy is like a fucking prolific doxer, okay? This guy is like fucking leftist leftist DB on steroids, okay?
Neela are good people. Kind of a tricky situation. How can you possibly think that they're both good people at their core? People can have crash out moments. People can say things that they don't mean. People can say things because they want internet clout and attention. I don't know, I think they're both
I was trying to watch this earlier. I'm still trying to understand. You mean this video? We're still on it.
probably guilty of saying things that they don't mean for internet clout and attention. Right now, one's a little bit more fucking nasty to me than the other.
I just don't see how you can be my friend and also be friends with someone like that.
Well, you can't. So I already forgot about you.
I actually have a lot of friendships that are kind of that way, where it's like, you know, one of the friends doesn't fuck with the other friend, but there is someone in the middle who kind of fucks with both of them, but separately. Yeah, there's a lot of friendships that are like that. I'm not going to make you guys like...
Right. Okay. So basically, what part of this don't you understand? Like, do you mean like the whole context of the
meet up
drama?
and kiss or anything. I get it. You guys are in fucking... You're either my best friend who's deep-throating me to the base of my cock, or you are Satan. You're the devil.
The last thing I said to Anissa, we were texting before
I'm just gonna say this right now, okay? It isn't about friends who don't like each other or whatever. It's about one particular person. Okay, let's just put it like this, okay? If you had a friend who had another friend who killed your family, all right. If you had a friend who had another friend who swatted your house, like what would you do, right? It's like why would you still be friends with that friend? It's almost as if that friend isn't actually your friend, right? Like if you have a mutual, all right, person A who is friends with person B, and person B is the person who swatted your house, would you still be friends with person A? Definitely not, right? Fuck that shit, right? Like, we're not just talking about two people who don't fuck with each other. We're talking about one person who is actively trying to ruin your fucking life, and then your friend is okay with fucking with that person, right? It's as simple as that. They're trying to say it was about the quality of the hummus they eat. Okay, if you're referring to the Jewish Arab tier list, once we get to that, then we'll talk about that, okay? Right, but not right now.
we talked about it. She's like, I don't care about this guy. He's a nobody, and you know, blah blah blah. And I said, well, then you'll have no problem publicly denouncing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, the conversation ended.
She never replied.
Ethan, you can't even phrase it in a way that doesn't make you sound like you're being coercive and shitty. Well, then, you should have no problem publicly denouncing it, right? Does that sound like a friend? It kind of sounds like something a powerful villain would say.
But it was so funny how she immediately went to comment everywhere, like on our subreddit. She immediately had to comment like, oh, he doesn't work with us anymore.
Then
but that was it. That's all she said.
But then say that you don't
Okay, do you have
agree.
anything else to say for your friends, though?
One of the reasons Anissa was so quick to clarify things...
Bro, again, like, if you have people going after you in real life, why the fuck would you ever be associated with that orbit fucking ever? Why? What is the standard? Hello?
in your Reddit is because your Reddit was already talking about who this editor is, and they were spreading misinformation that it was our co-host on our podcast, Uncle Dane. So yeah, the last thing we wanted is this guy getting pulled into this mess, and you guys don't give a fuck. Would it have been nicer and more supportive to say, we don't agree with the things he's saying and we support Ethan and Neela? Sure. Like, yeah, that would have been a nicer thing to say. Our silence means something. It means that we would like to pause this relationship until you figure your shit out. And then maybe we can find a moment in time, I don't know how long it'll be, but a moment in time in the future where things are a little bit easier to broach. I don't think we need to do it right now, but you've insisted that this is an important thing to address. I would have been perfectly fine with you not blasting me on your Instagram story. I would have been perfectly fine with you not blasting me and my wife on your podcast twice. I would be fine with you not brigading my comment section on my podcast that gets 3,000 views a week because I prefer to not do harassment campaigns and instead talk about Vampire's Kiss.
Like they say something like he doesn't work for me, and I strongly disagree, and I support Ethan and Hila. The problem is
that she doesn't.
that's the problem.
That's the problem.
She actually
She thinks they
probably-
have a point.
That's the problem.
Yeah, so go fuck yourself.
I agree.
Go fuck yourself. What about your girl? This is what I'm talking about. This aggression that you're putting out into the world. What the fuck do you think we're gonna do? You think I'm gonna fucking sit on my
Dude, I really don't think Idubbbz is making an accurate representation of the problems that Ethan Klein and Hila Klein is having with Hasan. Okay, the two biggest problems. Okay, I'm gonna repeat this. Okay, over and over again. Okay, we'll see if Idubbbz addresses these. Okay, but so far we are 25 minutes in, and I have not heard this. Okay, number one, CPS. Number two, Hasan promoting terrorism. It's these 2 points. Okay, these 2 points. Hasan promoting terrorism and CPS. Okay, so far it's 25 minutes of yapping. All right, about stupid Twitter drama that I literally do not care about. Brigading comments, that's fucking normal. Okay, welcome to becoming a big creator. Okay, these people can come from fucking anywhere. Editors having beef, who the fuck cares? Okay, if you don't like the editor, get out. If you like the editor, keep them in. Okay, who cares? I don't care. All right, like I don't care about editor beefs. Okay, and like these two are not the two biggest fucking contentions that Ethan Klein and Hila Klein has. Okay, their two biggest contentions is Hasan being a fucking terrorist sympathizer, right?
hands when you do this shit? Like, this is nasty. We had such a fair response to what you guys were going through. We don't support harassment. It's a bad thing, but it happens,
Wow.
and you're perpetuating it.
You fucking propagandist, lying scumbag, terrorist supporter. He probably sets up a mirror and jerks off watching himself. Dan KKK Clancy has a similar view of Hitler. Because Dan Clancy, the Nazi, fucking anti-Semite.
Okay, Susan, if you're a mom, I'm sure you would understand this, okay? So what has happened, okay, is that Hasan's orbit called CPS on Ethan Klein's kids because supposedly Ethan Klein is like neglecting his kids. Where did they get this idea from? Is because his kid apparently had some kind of very awkward sickness that is very understandable, that is normal for kids. That's why. All right? So what has happened is that they essentially doxed Ethan Klein. They spread his information and his address around, okay? And what has happened is they then sent CPS to his house to take away custody of his kids for essentially no abuse, no evidence, no anything. There's no probable reason to believe that Ethan Klein is actually abusing his kids, right? There's nothing there, all right? So the fact that, something like this is happening is kind of crazy because it's like to send CPS to someone's house to take away someone's kids is like the most evil shit, the most evil, vile shit you can ever imagine, right? Like some people would even think it's worse than death, right? Some parents would be willing to sacrifice their lives for their kids, right? Like this is something that is, close to being akin to like a death, to like a credible death threat, right? Bad Banana was claiming Ethan and Hila killed their dog and their house was filthy and neglecting a kid. Yep. And in addition, okay, so Bad Banana is a leftist content creator who regularly doxes people and just for situations like this, okay? And this person is reprehensible. They're on multiple blacklists, okay? Nobody wants to associate with them. However, one orbit that wants to associate with Bad Banana is Hasan's orbit, aka Denims, aka the people who called CPS. So what they did was that they used Bad Epanada and all the things that Bad Epanada points out in order to call CPS, and they willingly, openly associate with Bad Epanada. So by doing that, you're associating with somebody who is openly trying to take away someone's custody of their kids. All right.
You can't expect other people to stop harassing you if you continue to harass people. Let's think about it on a micro level. Have you ever been in a comment section and found someone to argue with? It doesn't stop. It can literally go on forever if you don't want to touch grass.
I mean, yeah, this was kind of like a line, what happened today, that should never be crossed, even by like the most cynical, toxic people, it's going to have ramifications in terms of how I conduct myself. In terms of these fair weather friends who are, you know, so happy to be friends as long as they're getting something out of it.
Ethan, that is a rich thing to say. Like you're the H3 podcast, okay? There's a lot of friends of the show. There's even more fair weather friends of the show. Let's not get into this shit, okay? That is so bizarre and insulting to suggest that I was only ever being friends with you to get something out of it. No, I'm friendly with you, and I'd say I'm a light friend because it's been pleasant hanging out with you. I've enjoyed your content over the years, and as of late, it's gotten really fucking shitty.
Yeah, so go fuck yourself.
I agree.
Who else? Who else do we want to burn today?
Who else do we want to burn today? You're making it so fucking obvious that this is your emotional dumping ground. It's horrible. This is not what podcasts are. There was a way to approach this to say like, yeah, we feel hurt by you guys not saying something. You've decided to do the extra thing and attack. Now, in fairness, I am attacking back, but I feel very insulted and I feel defensive and I feel like I am speaking up for a lot of people who have problems with you and a lot of people who have been on the receiving end of your harassment.
It's so easy to be anti-racist. Everybody's anti-racist. Racism is the worst thing in the world, right? We fucking hate racists. Fuck racists.
Microaggressions.
The minute that they actually have to stick their neck out for somebody, the minute they have to actually risk something to put themselves in under scrutiny, to sacrifice something personally to stand up for racism, then all of a sudden it's like, hey, I don't want to get involved.
And that's drama.
How much do you care?
I don't do drama.
How much
Sorry.
do you actually care? Isn't that the whole point? Like,
I realize that Ethan and Hila are more scared now than they've probably ever been. I feel like anti-Semitism is a thought in their heads now more than ever. And it's not completely unjustified to be thinking about that sometimes. You guys are just hurt and you're kind of like dancing around and making very like loose, poorly thought out analogies for something that doesn't even apply to us. It's like me making this video is the standing up for something and it's saying, fuck you, you guys are being bad. You know, I don't think you're bad people, but you're being bad. You're behaving poorly. You're hurting people.
I mean, go back to the civil rights. You think that the people who are like the white kids who are protesting with the black students, you think that they were just like not risking anything? Those kids who are marching with the black students and...
So in Ethan's analogy, he's the black student and I'm the white student, but I'm the white student that's not, you know, marching by his side. I'm not doing the difficult thing. You're gonna have to march on your own, black student.
Marching with the black students and...
I mean, why is it inspiring? Why is it inspiring?
Well, and it's the same thing, to bring it back to Hasan just because, but it kind of is the same thing. Like, I was thinking about going to Gaza until I found out it's dangerous. He's a total performative activist that doesn't give a single fuck about the cause.
It's been performed exquisitely. Harassing one person and seamlessly transitioning into harassing another.
Well, you know, Hasan is more of a clout chaser than somebody who actually cares about Gaza. Because if he actually did care about Gaza, he would also cover protesters. I mean, I'm not sure if this is... Let me know if I'm wrong, okay? I don't think he covered protesters that are anti-Hamas. Because there are protesters in Gaza who are anti-Hamas, and they've essentially been forcibly silenced.